Welcome back to the program. Let's keep rolling. A headline from our friends over at Newsmax. NRB, American Family Association, sue FCC on gender requirements. Quote, the National Religious Broadcasters Association and the American Family Association announced they are suing the Federal Communications Commission over the reinstatement of workforce data collection order that would mandate employer reporting of staff, race, and gender. The NRB and AFA on Friday filed in the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals a petition to review FCC 24-18, which reinstates Form 395B after 20 years of disuse. The two organizations are seeking a review of the order on the grounds that it goes beyond the FCC statutory authority, violates the equal protection component of the Fifth Amendment and the free speech clause of the Fifth Amendment, as an abuse of the FCC's discretion. My next guest is General Counsel for the National Religious Broadcasters, Michael Farris. Thank you for joining us. So why now? Why after 20 years of this form being, put away, is the Biden administration dragging it out?
Well, the Biden administration sees every opportunity they can to try to silence voices they don't like. And this is a backdoor way of silencing broadcasters that don't meet their agenda. They use these methods of putting information out on the internet to be able to give left-wing activists the chance to dox people. It's very much like the Attorney General of California tried unsuccessfully to get the permission to disclose all the donors to conservative causes. The Supreme Court said you can't do that. There's no legitimate basis for collecting the information, and there's no legitimate basis for the FCC collecting this data other than trying to silence people they don't like.
Does the FCC even have this authority?
Well, that's of course the point of the whole legal challenge. We don't think so. The two dissenting members of the FCC wrote eloquent dissents explaining why they don't have the statutory authority. And that's one of the big disputes that the Biden administration is pushing on multiple fronts, whether they can make up law even though it's not consistent with the law of Congress. They tried to do this with the coal industry. They got shot down by the Supreme Court when they said, no, on major questions of policy like this, you've got to be implementing the law of Congress, not making up your own. In many other respects, the Biden administration thinks that they should just be able to make up whatever law they want, even though Article 1, Section 1 of the Constitution says all legislative authority is vested in Congress. So that's really, in an ultimate sense, the test that's going on here is, are we a republic where our elected officials make the law, or can these appointed officials, now that they have a Democrat majority on the FCC, make whatever rules they want?
Let's say you do fill out this form and it doesn't come out to the administration's liking. What are they going to do about it?
Well, there's not much that they can probably do directly, at least not on the short run. But what they will do is publish it to the whole world. And that sets you up, that this provides the raw material for the cancel culture, who want to try to stop anybody that they don't like. And they'll come after advertisers, they'll be filing claims against your licenses. And so it will create an atmosphere of combativeness that the very fact that you have to defend yourself on every front is a chilling effect on free speech altogether. And so we just don't think that the FCC should be able to subject us to this kind of heckler's promise, or heckler's veto that they're trying to impose on religious and other stations that they don't like their methodology. If you don't meet their quota-based way of hiring people, if you hire the best people, regardless of race. Of course, anybody engages in racial discrimination or gender discrimination in these contexts, they're disobeying the law, and they should be punished for disobeying the law. But that's not what this is about. This is about collecting data and assuming from data that you are disobeying these basic fundamental laws, that nobody disputes the legitimacy of those laws about discrimination. But this is not about that. This is about quotas. This is about doxing. This is about the cancel culture and giving the raw materials to people who don't like the kind of voices that are being raised against the Biden administration's so many attacks on free speech and other kind of freedoms in our country.
It just seems like they have it out for religious broadcasters, doesn't it? It really does feel like that. Like you pesky Christians are, kind of a nuisance.
Indeed. There's a great variety of people they don't like, but I think we sit at the very center of their dislike, and they want to curtail our rights in particular. And that's why the Equal Protection Challenge is a part of it. But free speech under the First Amendment, equal protection under the Fifth Amendment, those are the basic constitutional issues. And we're hopeful, although you can never predict absolutely what will happen, but we're hopeful for success in this case.
They're going to find if this is going to be the order of the day, not the stereotype, but I bet you're going to find there's not a lot of people of Asian descent working on hip hop radio stations. Okay. So the data they collect might create uncomfortable circumstances for broadcasters they didn't intend to create uncomfortable circumstances for.
It could. And we have seen from what's been going on in college campuses that people that thought themselves safe from these kind of leftist progressive attacks suddenly are finding themselves also within the crosshairs of attack. And so it could backfire on them in ways they're not expecting. But the real simple approach to this is, can the government make legitimate use of this information? The answer is no. There really isn't any legitimate purpose for gathering this kind of data in a society that's supposed to be gender neutral and race blind. We should be colorblind society, like Martin Luther King said in his famous speeches. That's the kind of thing that they can't make legitimate use of. And when they can't make legitimate use of it, they shouldn't be able to gather the data and then publicize it to the whole world who doesn't want to use the information legitimately. They just want to close and cancel the people they don't like.
All right, I got to leave it there. Keep us posted on this. Tell us how it progresses.
We will. Thank you very much.